So before we even get into the actual apps I'm going to tell you guys about, I think it's fair to let you guys know why it's important that you use these tools available. If you're anything like me, when I got started, I actually had a lot of trouble tracking things as well as automating things like savings and checking my credit score and alerts and stuff like that. So I just found it a lot easier when I found these apps to actually have control over everything going on with my finances and get insight into where my money was going, as well as being able to automate the harder things like spending money and stuff like that. What's up, guys? Imran here, and on this episode of the Stuff They Should Have Taught Us podcast, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the three best personal finance apps that I've found to help me in my journey to financial freedom and financial literacy. So the first app that I always recommend everyone to get downloaded onto their phone is definitely going to be Credit Karma. Credit Karma is always my go-to recommendation for anyone who's getting started in their personal finance slash credit journey. And pretty much at its core, Credit Karma is simply an app that monitors your credit score from two of the three major credit bureaus, that being TransUnion and Equifax. And at the surface level, it seems like something very basic, but they have a whole suite of tools that can help you with your finances. They have recommendations about how to increase your score based on where it's at and based on an assessment of your six credit factors. They have different credit card offers with approval odds. They give you access to personal loans, tax services, so much more. And they even do play like a small part in teaching you about credit and personal finance. So it's definitely the go-to app I always recommend everyone get started with. It's free. It's completely free. And it's called Credit Karma. And with all the apps, I'm going to link them in the show notes so you guys can go ahead and download them from there. The second app is actually one I found very recently. It's going to be useful for anyone who's like me who actually hates saving money. I am like 80% of, I was like 80% of Americans in that I didn't really save money regularly. And then when I did try to start saving, I was struggling a lot. And that's when I kind of stumbled upon Digit very recently. So Digit is good for lazy people like me who hate saving. It's essentially an app that automates your savings by taking a look at your bank account, analyzing your spending over the last, 6 to 12 months. And from there, it takes whatever extra money it thinks it can take and it puts it into a sort of Digit saving account or fund. So you can actually set up different funds based around your goals. So if you want to save up for a rainy day fund or an emergency fund, or maybe you want to pay off your credit card debt or student loans or anything like travel, something like that, you can set up a fund in Digit and it'll automatically look at your bank account every single day to see if there's any excess money that it can take from there to put into your Digit account. And every 90 days you leave your money in Digit, they give you like a little bonus to encourage you to save more money. So it's really cool. And it's definitely good for people who are like me and lack self-control when it comes to savings. It just does it automatically and it can help you reach your savings goals a lot quicker than you'd think. Another one of the cool features is when you actually download the app, based on your spending, it'll automatically recommend an amount for you to save for your emergency fund, which is really cool. So you don't really have to go through and take a look at your spending. It'll automatically do that once you link your bank account and automatically come up with an amount that it thinks you need for your emergency fund, essentially. So the third app I always recommend is one called Mint, and although it has a lot of the same features as Credit Karma when it comes to tracking your score, what Mint really allows you to do is set budgets as well as track your expenses over time. So what I use Mint for is I usually log into Mint, and from there it has all the information on all of my credit cards and bank accounts. And from there, I'll get to see how I'm spending money each month and in what categories. And then from there, I can kind of see where I'm overspending based on my preset budget. There's also a lot of cool features of Mint that a lot of people don't really use. Um, Mint can also be used to track your net worth. So you can add things like your car or like even appliances. and even link it to Zillow to track the value of your home so you get an overall view of your net worth. You can set reminders with Mint to get notifications when you have to pay a bill. You can get those same reminders over text. You can use it to set goals, even track cash. So if you make a cash purchase, you can log it in the Mint app and then tag it by the category. And then from there, it'll track that as well. And then if you're someone who's an Excel nerd like I am, you can always port it to Excel, download a CSV and put that into Excel and do your own kind of analytics on your spending. So it's a very powerful tool. There's a lot of features that a lot of people don't know about, but it's definitely one of the 3 best apps, I would say, to have on your phone as far as personal finance apps go. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. I'm going to have a link to all the apps I discussed in the show notes, so be sure to check those out. Also, thank you to my first supporter, Osama Ali. And like always, if you guys like the podcast, be sure to subscribe on iTunes or wherever you're listening to and share it with your friends if you think they can learn something.